So we just saw like how when to go with the for loop. When to go with the for loop, when the number of iterations we are aware. Okay, at that particular time we can go with respect to the for loop. Now there are other loops as well in Java. We have while loop, we have do while loop. So let us see while loop in Java. Okay, so the while loop in Java is a control flow statement like for loop, which is used to execute a block of code repeatedly as long as a given condition is true. Okay, and it is useful when the number of iterations is not known beforehand. When to go with for loop? We go with the for loop when the number of iterations we are aware. We know that we have to execute we know that we have to execute some set of statement this many times. At that time we go with for loop. And when do we go with while loop? When we are not aware that how many number of iterations we need to perform, but we know the condition at when we have until when we have to execute the while loop. In that particular case we have to go with while loop. Okay, when to go with a while loop, or what is a while loop? A while loop in Java is a control flow statement which is used to execute block of code repeatedly as long as a given condition is true. And a while loop is useful when the number of iteration is not known beforehand. Okay, so when to go with a while loop? When the as long as a given condition is true, and it is useful when the number of iteration is not known beforehand. At this particular instance, we go with a while loop. Now, there is a syntax for while loop as we saw with respect to the for loop. Okay, let us switch to Eclipse. I feel Eclipse is visible. Okay, so now let us try to declare a while loop. Okay, but before declaring a while loop, let us have some requirement. Okay, now what is the requirement? Okay, requirement is that to have a while loop we should be knowing the condition when we should end, or when we should until when we should execute some set of statements. We know that we should be having that condition. Okay, and we should be having the condition that when we should come out of the for loop, or until the condition satisfies one and the same. So let me try to create one situation. Okay, suppose consider we have to print 10 numbers. Okay, let us consider this. We have to print 10 numbers. Okay, 10 even numbers. Let us consider 10 even numbers. Okay, 10, we have to print 10 even numbers. Okay, from 1 to 10. We have to print 10 even numbers starting from 20. Okay, this is the requirement. We have to print 10 even numbers starting from 20. This is the requirement. Do we know what is the starting? Okay, you might tell we are aware 10, but what is the end? We know? No, we don't, because I don't know, like if I am starting from even number 20, how many times I need to increment, or how many times I have to traverse the loop, the condition to check whether 10 is reached or not, right? I don't know. So for that, if this kind of condition is there, then what I have to do, we can go with the while loop. While loop is case sensitive again. Okay, so we have to write while loop in all smaller case, reserved keyword, open close small brackets, open close flower braces. Syntax. Now from where we should start? Print 10. We should start from 20, because we have to print even numbers from 20. And how many numbers we have to print? We have to print 10 numbers. So what is the condition now? The condition is we should start from 1 and we should go until the value of I is lesser than 10. Equal to 10. Let us consider lesser than or equal to 10, because we have to print 10 even numbers. Right? Now what is the start? The start is 1, and the condition with respect to while statement is the value of I should be lesser than or equal to 10. Now what are even numbers? The even numbers are the numbers which are divisible by 2 and the remainder is 0. Those are called as even numbers. Okay, and we should start from where? We should start from 20, right? So for that, let me try to take one more variable. Int of z is equals to 20. Okay, I'm taking one more variable. Now what we have to do, why I'm taking this particular variable? In order to specify, in order to find each even numbers from 20. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll try to take if z is divisible by 2 is equal to 0, that means it is a even number. I need to print what? I need to print the value of z. Okay, once it is done, I need to increment the value of z so that it will point to the next element, and I need to increment I plus plus, even the I operator. Okay, if this is not satisfies, then what I have to do, I have to just increment the value of z plus plus, like this. Run as Java application. Okay. Is it printing 10 numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 even numbers it is printing. Right? From where it is starting? Starting from 20 and going till 38. Right? 10 even numbers. So am I aware like until when I should be going with the loop? I'm not aware, because there should be 10 numbers. Right? Here it is 10 numbers, but if there are around 100, if you want to print 100 even numbers after 20, so it is not easy to judge until where it will go, right? So for that we have to just use this particular thing like this, simple. So now it will try to print us 100 even numbers starting from 20, like this. See, 100 even numbers. Okay, so this is a kind of example where when to go with the while. So how does this execute? Now let us consider simple thing. Let me try to minimize our while loop and let me try to explain. Okay, now let me try to print two even numbers starting from 20. Okay, two even numbers. Okay, I'll not make it as 20. I'll not make it as 100. I'll make it as 2. Two even numbers I have to print starting from 20. Run as Java application 20 and 22. Okay, 20 is also considered. Now let us see how it works. Okay, so first what we have to do, we have to print two even numbers starting from 20. For that what I have done, I have declared one integer I is equals to 1. So this will help me in representing number of even numbers printed. This will help me in representing that. This will help in representing or keeping note of right? Now if suppose the value of I is 2, that means 2 numbers are printed. If the value of I is 10, 10 numbers are printed, like that. Okay, and this variable will help me to start from number 20. If I'm giving it as 22, then the requirement is print two even numbers starting from 22. If I'm giving this as 22, but I'm giving as 20, so it will give me 20. Okay, then this is the while loop condition. Okay, this I'll tell you. Now the next is that this is used for checking even number, right? Used for checking even number, and this is used for printing the even number. This increment is used to increment the start the number. See, this is basically used, the z plus plus is used to increment the number increment the number, that is the range. Okay, it is used to increment the range, right? and this is used to, the I value is used to check with respect to the number of even numbers printed that we have used here, right? If this condition satisfies, then also we should do the increment, but we should not increment z plus plus, which is indicating the range. If it is not an even number, then also we have to increment the range. So that is what I am trying to do here. Okay, so this is known as the comments that I have specified in Java. Okay, this is known as the comments. So this is how we have to explain if an interviewer asks us to explain the code that we will be writing. Okay, they will ask us like what you are doing, int of I is equals to 1. We have to explain them. They'll be, then what else, what for what you are trying to use the while loop, we have to explain them. Okay, now let us come back to our previous thing, that when to go with the while loop, right? So here we are not aware how many times we have to increment or how many times we have to iterate the set of statements. We only know the condition. In that particular case, we go with while loop. So what is the condition that we are aware here? We are aware that we have to print 10 even numbers or 2 even numbers. We are aware that condition. So that is been represented by I. Okay, so first time what happens, whenever the value of I that we will be taking. So what will be the value of I? The value of I will be 1. Is 1 lesser than or equal to 2? Yes, it is true. Go inside the for loop, check. Okay, what is the value of z? Z value is 20. Is 20 an even number? Yes, it is divisible by 2. The remainder will be 0. It is an even number. Print that particular even number. Then increment the value of z. Why we are trying to increment the value of z? Because we have to print even number starting from 20. So what will be the next number? The next number will be 21. Then increment the value of I. Why we are trying to increment the value of I? Because we want to see it is 2 even numbers or it is 10 even numbers that we need to print. So first time we have taken I is equals to 1. So we got 1 even number, that is 20. Now what will be the next one? The next one will be 2. So for that we are trying to increment and we are kept. Once it executes, it will print that particular value. It will check the condition here. Okay. So have we reached our condition that 2 is lesser than or equal to 2? Yes, 2 is lesser than or equal to 2 because we have to print one more even number. So again we will go inside. At this time, what is the value of z? The value of z will be 21. Is 21 divisible by 2? No, it is not divisible by 2. The remainder will be 1 because 2 tens are 20. So 21 minus 20 will be 1. The remainder will not be equal to 0. It will be 1. So if loop fails, it will go else part. It will try to increment the next number. What is the next number? The next number is 22, right? So once we got 22, then we'll check the value of I. What is the value of I? The value of I is still 2 only. So is 2 lesser than or equal to 2? Yes, 2 is lesser than or equal to 2. Go inside the if loop and try to check the value of z. What is the value of z now? It is 22. 22 is reminder 2. Yes, this satisfies. So go inside the if loop, print the value of z, that is 22, increment the value of z to 23, increment the value of I to 3, because now we are trying to print third even number. But what is the requirement? The requirement is we should print 2 even numbers. So what I will take? I will take, this will be 3. Is 3 lesser than or equal to 2? No, this will return as false. So once this is false, it will come out of the while loop and try to execute the next set of statements that we will be having inside a method. This is how the while loop works. So to give a simple program, let us try to take this. A simple one. Okay, so this is a while loop. A while loop will also be having an initialization, a condition check, and increment. Even it will also have, but it will be written in different places. Okay, and when to go with a while loop? When we are not aware the number of iterations that we need to perform with respect to a set of code at that particular time, we go with the while loop. Okay, so this is the output. So this is the condition check that we saw. Okay, this we will see. And when to use a while loop? When the number of iteration is unknown, at that time we can go with the while loop. When looping until a certain condition is satisfied, which we saw with respect to the previous example. Okay, so this is a while loop.